I want the relevant experience at the top. I did a year abroad and I learnt this and and these are my skills. And also, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to spend my time doing. Because I run a small company and I can adapt a role according to the person if the person's good.
Okay.
So if I meet somebody who's really, really creative and wants to, almost be a cartoonist or something, I can find a way to make them happy in some way in the business. So I need to know that. And I really, really think it's very important that all the spelling and grammar is really good because I'm a bit of a grammar and spelling person.
The model I have looking at CVs, right, is simply, it's scale, complexity and track record. Right? So if I've got this thing, when I'm looking at a CV, I want to know what's the scale of what they've done. So if you're a graduate and you haven't done much work, but you've been on a project team, it's interesting that your project had 20 people on it than 2, right? I want a sense of scale. If you've had a Saturday job, was it at Dixon's or was it at the corner shop? So think scale. The next is complexity, meaning the stuff that you've done, has it been dead easy or has it been quite difficult?
Yeah.
And now, again, if you've got nothing to say in a CV, but you've done essays and you've revised, try and tell me how complex your degree was. Was it easy or was it difficult? I want a sense of complexity. And then the track record bit is, what have you done? Get 2-1 or not? Bloody first time pass or not? That's what I love.
My main tip is really just get as much practice as you can. I remember when I started, I was absolutely horrendous, but actually there's a lot of stuff online that can really help. I also got a book that could help, and actually practice makes perfect, and I got there in the end.
So I was looking online and people were like, if you practice, you can get 100%.
Yeah.
So my advice would be just practice.
Yeah.
Just it's one of those things that when you do 20 of them, you start to see all the different patterns and numbers, and they're all very similar.
The second thought, normally, not always true, but normally is speed.
Yeah.
Just crack through it. Just crack through it. And don't freak out when you don't finish it, because you rarely finish it.
I love the presentation bit of an interview because it's the one thing really that you can control. So I always like to put a lot of effort into that presentation, make sure it's got the right content, make sure you're asking the right questions, and also for a product developer, it's all about having a really nice visual, making sure that it looks really nice, as well as the content's there. And then the last bit is all around delivery, so actually making sure you do a few practice runs just to make sure you're really confident about what you're talking about.
Less is more.
Okay.
100% less is more. If you can avoid it, don't put. If you're doing PowerPoint presentations, if you can avoid it, don't put words.
Okay.
Or use maybe 4 words max, because that should just be an impact. Or like, for example, you can use photographs as metaphors for what you're trying to say or the image you're trying to convey. Don't try and sound smart. Don't use big words because you normally stumble on them. I think be honest when you speak, be authentic. Things that you don't know you can own up to, and always end on a positive.
Just look like you're enjoying yourself in some way, because if you're standing there, and please don't use cards because no, just rehearse it, because then it will just look like you want to be there.
The best sort of thing that's ever happened to me is the guy at RCI giving me this break on this marketing job. So I was not qualified for that job. You don't actually have to have all boxes ticked to get a job. In fact, I don't think I've ever recruited anybody who ticks all boxes. It's just impossible, because you draw up this job description of this person that doesn't exist, and then you tick some of them. It's a bit like buying a house or finding a partner. You won't have them all ticked. So you have to just have a feeling.
You learn to love them.
And you have a feeling about somebody being able to do a job as well as sort of actuality, and I think that's important to understand from a graduate perspective. You haven't got a lot of experience, so you're not going to have all the boxes ticked, and therefore you've got to, some of yourself's got to come over because they're buying into you as well.
Yeah.
Companies buying into you, not just your skills.
Why do you think you were given that opportunity at that moment when you weren't qualified and all that? What do you think the reasons were?
I think it was some of this kind of passion thing. I mean, I'd researched well. I knew this was a company I wanted to work in. You know, again, the boss relationship is really good, really important, and I got on well with this individual.
Yeah.
So he gave me a break.
Absolutely. Great.
And I was really lucky.
And I keep meeting young people and graduates who don't think they've got a story to tell. They don't think they've got any oomph. And they have. They absolutely have. They've just got to find their voice somehow. So if I could wave a magic wand for young people, it would be to think really hard about stuff that they've done, anything that they've done. I mean, anything. And then be confident to say, this is what I did. Because interviewers will work with that. It's kind of 2/3 what sort of person you are, and if you've got some generic skills, and 1/3 do you know the bit of the business that you come from? What are you like?
Yeah.
Are you any fun? Are you real or not? Are you human or not?